2012. They came back roaring to win this one in Panama. It's a team with a new coach. The experiment with Paco Olmos finished. And now the chance for Puerto Rico to come home with a guy who took them to their last Olympics as a player, Eddie Casiano. Puerto Rico trying to go back to the Olympics for the first time in 24 years. I'm sorry, in 12 years. Meanwhile, Serbia is looking for its 4th Olympic berth and also the first in 12 years. Now, before Serbia, the breakup of the old Yugoslavia faced Puerto Rico 11 times and won 7 of the 11. Puerto Rico won the last 2, including the very last matchup between them at the World Championships in 2002 in Indianapolis. And we're very curious to see literally what will both teams show. Serbia with an incredible depth and cast of characters that changes the tournament at home now with a little bit of a different pressure here because of playing at home. And Puerto Rico trying to get one win, if not tonight, certainly against Angola, but knowing that if they win tonight, there's a chance they'll have to meet Serbia again in the final on Saturday.
Well, absolutely right. Once you get to that second stage, it's just a winner takes all. And I can't believe that Serbia won't find themselves playing on Saturday. The two guys just going through the pictures there, Carlos Aloya and JJ Barrera. It's not just about those two guys. Puerto Rico won Centro Basket without Carlos Aloya. Barrera has, it seems as though the group has so much better chemistry than the last time they played on a world stage in the World Cup in Spain. And you've got to give some credit to new coach for that to be the case. And people talk about preparing for tournaments. There is no better preparation than being in a competitive environment. For them to win Centro Basket, beat the strong Mexican team, they put up great numbers across the board. That's great preparation. But you're now going to hear what it means to this vast arena quickly filling up as this Serbian lineup, led out by Milos Diadosis, their captain, 98 times played for this. During this tournament, he's going to play 100 times for his country. Great thrill for him to do that at home in front of the fans that have so much respect for this game.
And yet, with all the skill and the history and the achievements of Serbian basketball, it's still one of the youngest teams in this tournament.
Yeah.
With an average age of 25.8 years, including a 21-year-old in Nikola Jokic and a couple of 23-year-olds in Nemanja Dankovic and Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Well, I think the key for this is that Saša Đorđević is trying to build a team that he thinks is ready to represent Serbia. And that's what I think he's doing, bringing in young players now to get them in a position where they can do what he thinks any team should do for Serbia.
And now the interpretation of both national anthems, starting with the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, La Borinqueña.
National anthem of Puerto Rico.
Caribbean island of 3.5 million people. They're one of 5 countries where basketball is the undisputed #1 sport. And now, the anthem of the Republic of Serbia, Bože Pravde, God of Justice. Basketball, not just a sport in the Republic of Serbia, it is a culture, as the coaches and the coaching staffs and players eventually huddle up and wish each other well. As I said, Serbia looking for a 4th Olympic berth. They ended up with a silver medal in the Atlanta 1996 game, ended up 6th in Sydney in 2000, and 4 years later in Athens, finished 11th. Daniel Irrezuelo from Spain. In the center of your screen, Joseph Bisang. In the right, from France, and Michael Whelan, who has been a referee in the Puerto Rican League, the National Superior Basketball League, or BSN, in Puerto Rico, is also here. He is from Canada. So they haven't faced each other since 2002, and perhaps you're not seeing the fervor here in the public as if you had Serbia, for example, meet France or Greece, which they did, by the way, in the run-up to this tournament. In fact, Serbia won all 3 games.
Well, they had great prep because they're beating France and they're beating Greece. You can't have tougher lineups. This Puerto Rican lineup, though, has a different challenge for them because in Barrera and Arroyo, they just have guys who know how to score at the highest level. John Holland is another NBA guy with so much experience. The front line is going to be the key. Can they control what Serbia throw at them on the inside? I thought Bolton was one of the few guys to come out of the World Championships looking, as though he's really put in a shift. Peter Ramos, the veteran, the huge man on the inside. How many minutes and how much productivity can they get out of him? It's going to be a tough ask to face this Serbian roster. Teodosic is coming off of a season that saw him win the Continental Championships with CSKA Moscow. Bogdanovic is talked about as one of the hottest properties in world basketball, let alone European basketball. And then, as you said, they have these young guys coming in who are fearless, who know how to play as Serbian players. And it could be any number of people that start. And they see what Djordjevic does. No Teodosic in the starting lineup. Then, so what do? You replace him with an under-19 world champion in Markovic. This team has talent. We've highlighted Teodosic as they are one of the players that will lead the Serbian team. In Eurobasket last year, nearly 12 points a game, dished out 7 assists. Teams are better for having Teodosic on the floor. Barrera had a marvelous tournament for Puerto Rico in Centro Basket with his 11.8 and 6.4. But the key for that is that everybody on this Puerto Rican roster got minutes in that tournament and everybody made a contribution. They will need to get that if they are going to eat into this Serbian game that they're going to have to try and win. Cassiano, as you know him, well in the sense that he's preparing to qualify. So whatever happens today, he's looking at the whole tournament.
He does not want to show Sasha Djordjevic all of a bag of tricks in this game. They hope to win, but they're not going to be upset if they lose, as long as they know that if they face Serbia next time, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve he can use in the final, which will be a raucous Belgrade Arena. It is pretty full right now, but it looks like a family atmosphere compared to some of the Red Star partisan games we've had before.
Absolutely.
Now, a couple of notes about the Puerto Rican team. 8 of their 12 players are 30-year-old or older. This is a team that averages 30 years old. And Miroslav Raduljic will not be starting. He's also one of the beefier players. You see him on the screen right now. So lineup changes really for both teams. Huertas will start. Huertas, I mentioned to you before the game, had an excellent season, became the 3rd best three-point shooter in the Puerto Rican League in terms of percentage. He's also cut down on a lot of the hard fouls and technical fouls he had this year. He's a bit of a hothead. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this game. And again, they have not seen each other in 14 years. So there's no real tradition and no real matchup recently between them as Ramos goes over and bear hugs Djordjevic. Everything's set for the jump ball. Another treat in this game, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be watching at center Nikola Jokic, coming from a tremendous season in the Denver Nuggets. I told you before, I think he has a chance, and again, it's a chance of becoming an NBA All-Star down the road. That kind of talent, that kind of a player, his only fault in the NBA, perhaps he plays a team game. In a situation where perhaps if you padded up your stats, you'd be more noticeable. That's not his game.
And he's a 21-year-old power forward. His best years are definitely ahead of him. He's exciting. It's going to be a privilege to watch people like him in this game. But how big Ramos is, if he can play minutes in this game and eat that space up, it's going to be a real asset.
They're trying to get Ramos to get himself ready for the game, and I think he finally is.
In his time.
134 kilos. 2 meters 22. That's over 300 pounds and over 7'3". And I think we're ready for the jump ball. The ball in the hands of of Daniel Yerrezuelo.
They're jumping the wrong way. They warmed up the opposite way around to you'd normally to expect. So they're now going to play into the baskets that they didn't warm up into.
Yerrezuelo looks like a statue right now. Okay, we're ready. The ball in the hands of Serbia. As Markovic brings it up the court. We saw their practice yesterday, almost 2 hours worth of precision, drills. As Jokic takes the first shot, and he doesn't even draw iron. The ball belongs to Puerto Rico. We saw a little jitter and nerves at the start of the Latvia-Japanese game.
Yeah, but Jokic's got to take that shot. You know, Ramos is going to stand in the keyway, can't guard him on the perimeter, so he's going to have to take it, and you'd expect him to knock that shot down.
Some ball handling issues for Puerto Rico early on, and we don't have a backward violation. Apparently the ball was touched by Serbia. Ramos with a long shot, and it's rebounded by Jokic. Interesting ball handling issues for Puerto Rico. The only true legitimate ball handler here is Barea. Everybody else is a little suspect. Markovic over to Bercevic. And the ball is put back in by Markovic.
It's interesting for me. Puerto Rico just playing the three-point line, just defending inside the keyway. But if you're going to do that and back into the other team to miss, you can't give up offensive rebound to guard. Just got to box out.
Ball touched now by Markovic again. Ball handling an issue for Puerto Rico, getting the ball to circulate as Ricky Sanchez quickly comes into the game for Peter John Ramos. Didn't seem to be himself at the start of this game. Played for Bayamon and lost the championship to the team where Ronaldo Bachman played, his national team teammate. Bachman, born in Staten Island, New York. And a foul, an offensive foul on Ricky Sanchez very quickly, a moving screen.
I'm not sure about the call. You're allowed to pivot, so.
Kalinic inside. A nice cut by Bercevic, Stefan Bercevic from Partizan, 26-year-old. There is such a depth of talent in this team. Barea with a hesitation move, but the penetration is denied. Triple team. Huertas off the dribble, just improvising. A technical foul against the bench, so they will be assigned to Sasha Djordjevic. There was a little chatter from Serbia about fouls not being called.
Yeah, it would just be a bench tech though.
Yes.
They specifically called it on it was Simonovic who was up and down. I don't know if you necessarily need to make the technical right now. Just tell him to calm down and let's just move on. But the French official wanted to make that point stronger.
Very early in the game, as Whelan now has to hear it from a standout player for Serbia for many, many years, Sasha Djordjevic. And if you're, bad pass, it's deflected out of bounds by Markovic. It belongs to Puerto Rico.
Stefan Markovic has had a difficult season with injury, and he'll really be fresh. He's obviously, he's a Djordjevic type of guard. He plays hard every single moment. He's quality. And at the moment, he is giving Barrera one hell of a workout.
Bogdanovic guarding Huertas, and Huertas going all the way out to Vasallo. And Danny Vasallo misses the open shot. I think it's going to be an open shot relative to what they're going to find this game. Bercevic intercepted by Bachman. Here comes Puerto Rico. They love the up and down game. But the ball right now, handling it is a problem for the Islanders. They switch on Barea, and he launches a long three. It's in! Wow. How did he make it? What a shot.
Well, that's a hard show, and they recovered, and he even trying to buy the foul, he still made the three.
31 years old, he's a 1.80 m, 5'10". Jokic with a nice fake and a drop in.
Well, we've said before when we've covered Puerto Rico, Ricky Sanchez has got to play this game physically. He could really be a difference maker.
Bravo by Vasallo.
He just went to sleep on Jokic on the last play. Jokic is 2 feet from the bucket. Sanchez just stands and watches him.
First turnover for Puerto Rico. And Sanchez is not known for rugged physical play. He can actually protect the rim better than most people give him credit in Puerto Rico, but he's not a rugged physical defender. Let's see if he can keep up with Jokic. Kalinic, and a foul down below, and it's going to be on Bachman, his first, as he tangled with Bercevic. Bachman's first foul. Cassian ended up coaching Santurce in the BSN. He won a championship with Mayagüez in 2012, and that was the first time he gave notice that he had true, excellent coaching talent. That team in Mayagüez was not that good talent-wise. He really was the difference in them winning a couple of series. Jokic inside and a foul by Sanchez.
Same play. Sanchez has got to bump him. If he doesn't bump him, he's going to foul him after he catches it. You've got to play him, bump him hard, off the ball. Because Jokic down there, he's going to score, and he's going to score and get fouled.
So now Jorge Brian Diaz gets the assignment for Sanchez.
And Sanchez coming out, he's like, obviously he's frustrated, a little disgruntled, but it's the same cut, same play, gets beat twice running. You've got to bump that cut. You've got to be prepared to put your body on it and change it.
Jokic misses the first free throw. I mentioned what kind of a treat it will be to watch him play throughout this short tournament. He's 21 years old, born in Sombor, Serbia. Diaz makes sure he can miss the second one. The ball is loose in the hands of Perea now. Nothing easy on transition for Puerto Rico. Perea will launch another three. Offline. A 2-point Serbian lead, and Puerto Rico right now looks a little rattled.
Well, the Serbian defense is just, if you want a clinic of how to play defense, watch this team, because on the ball, they guard you, their hard shows, the organization on the ball screen. It's just a clinic in terms of how to play man-to-man.
Open shot, he passed it up. Here comes Bercevic. It's good. A three-pointer. It's a 5-point Serbian lead.
Now, Bercevic in Spain last year.
Vasallo opened up room with his off arm and made a three. Another one of those great three-point shooters for Puerto Rico. And we should add, not only are they great three-point shooters, they're even better free throw shooters. This is a great team on free throws normally, except of course for Bachman. Bogdanovic passed up an open three, and Bachman showed up. And Brian Diaz gets the rebound. Huertas, full throttle. And an offensive foul on Huertas. That one would be good to look at again. The benefit of hindsight and slow motion.
Yeah, the thing about Huertas here, he didn't try to change direction too much. The defense was there, but at the, 4-0 foul count at the start here for Puerto Rico. There's still over 5:45 to go in the first. The Serbians will spend a lot of time on the free throw line.
Another foul. I believe, let's see if it's on Bachman.
I think Diaz in the post.
It's on Diaz.
I think Diaz in the post one-on-one.
So Peter John Ramos comes off the bench here for Puerto Rico. And Diaz will take a seat. Let's see. Sanchez came in, had a turnover, committed 2 quick fouls. Ramos, no fouls yet. Not even played a minute at the start of the game. Had trouble with the tip-off. Jokic with the first free throw.
Jokic is over 80% from the free throw line. This could be a long 5.5 minutes for Puerto Rico. They've got to stay clean here. They can't keep sending service to the foul line, and things don't get any better if you're a Puerto Rican as the rotations get going on the Serbian bench.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic will come out. Miroslav Radulica will come in.
Radulica has had a great Great season in Greece, and if there's anyone who can hold their space and draw contact, it's him.
Carlos Arroyo warming up a bit behind the Puerto Rican bench. Ramos in the low post. Clash of titans here. And a foul by Raduljica, and he didn't like the contact from Ramos. And he will go to the line. Oof, that is a bull.
Yeah. But then defensively, it's like, he's a good free throw shooter, Ramos. Do you really want to send him to the free throw line? Make him make that shot.
Does have a very nice soft touch around the rim. 61% free throw shooter with Bayamon, but he's a better shooter than that. In central basket, he made 12 of 16 for 75%, and he makes the first one. This kid and Sanchez were high school teammates in Caguas, Puerto Rico. Peter John Ramos was born in Puerto Rico, but his mother moved him to New York, and he was found by someone who knew a Federation person in Puerto Rico at a big man, tall man shop buying clothes.
Really?
And when they found out, they heard his mother speak, they said, wait a minute, lady, you're Puerto Rican? She said, yes. That's your son? He said, yes. Well, they relocated them to a town in central Puerto Rico, and he ended up playing for that high school team. Of course, that high school team basically didn't lose the game that year, those Twin Towers. Makes both free throws. It's a 2-point Serbian lead. Raduljica, rebounded by Bachmann.
You'll take Raduljica off the dribble, even if it's a weak dribble. You'll take him off the dribble on that shot.
Bachmann, well, that's an offensive foul.
Yeah, I think Bachmann's going to claim he got a little contact before he actually drive, which instant contact got him going.
Second foul to Ramon Clemente has to come in. Carlos Arroyo comes in for ball handling. Huertas will take a seat. The problem with Puerto Rico now is they've got Clemente power forward, who will soon be playing center at the rate the game is going. And Arroyo, which at this stage of his career at 36, never really was an outstanding defensive player. Right now, it'll be a bit of a focus point for the Serbian offense as the ball is being brought up court by Markovic.
Teodosic is in the game as well, so you know, the balance, the rotation on this Serbian lineup is going to start to be a factor.
Inside to Raduljica against Clemente. Nice move by Clemente. The ball's loose, and it belongs to Puerto Rico.
And Clemente did a really nice job defensively. You said, if you're going to make this, go over me, fine. He didn't. As the way the game is learned, the referees are calling it tight. Lucha missed the shot, and he did a great job getting himself in a box-out position. Like
Bachmann, he was born in New York City in Queens. And there's a foul underneath, and it's a second one.
Personal foul number 13.
Interesting second foul.
And
he looked at the bench and have to look at the referees.
yeah, the referees are calling this particularly close at the moment. 7 fouls already across the game.
Arroyo coming off the season in Barcelona, in which they finished second in the Endesa League. Bad pass, but Arroyo corrals it. Tough shot for Arroyo. It's in.
2 points.
Any team with Arroyo on it always has a chance because they can make those tough shots. It's down this end of the floor, but they've just got to do a job.
Teodosic inside out. Rebounded by Vasallo, and no one's putting pressure on the Puerto Rican ball handler now until they cross midcourt. Arroyo will penetrate, create over to Vasallo for the 3. It's good, his second three-pointer. Again, ball handling, quite a difference when Barea and Arroyo are in. And you can see the defensive attitude by Serbia saying, wait a minute.
While Markovic sitting down, it's just taking that pressure away from the ball.
Teodosic inside the finish, and the foul by Clemente.
The great thing about Milos Teodosic, when you see this, he's always ready to pass. And if you move, and this team, everybody moves. If you move, you know that if you're open, he's going to find you.
Raduljica will go back to the bench with 2 fouls. Jokic comes back in. Another change for Serbia. We have Marko Simonovic, the veteran, 30-year-old from Red Star. A third of this team is made up of Red Star Belgrade players. That would be Simonovic, Dangubic, Stimac, and Jovic, Stefan Jovic.
And they had a great season in the both in the domestic league and in European competition.
Don't they always have a great season?
Well, Partizan ruled the roost for a little bit. Red Star, you know, Crnovica are back. That goes in cycles.
Arroyo and Barea on the same side of the court, leaving a little space for anybody to operate. High pick and roll, but it's not even allowed. As we see Barea denied originally by Kalinic. Tough shot, rebounded by Teodosic. Milos brings it up the court. Lines up a three. And it falls into the hands of Jokic for an easy putback.
Wow, no one put a body, but like Coach Cassiano's not happy with the official again, because there were people getting bumped on the offensive glass that all of a sudden is not called.
No one's happy. Georgievich was also complaining. Barea inside, finishes with a roll.
Well, if the Serbian defense is going to extend, especially as Markovic's back in the game, then the opportunity to break your man down with no help is there.
Hesitation by Teodosic. Oh, exactly what you were talking about. But a short shot by Markovic. He found them, huh? You see a foul by Teodosic.
And if you're Cassiano now, you're making that decision. It's, well, you know, Eurobasket last year, Serbia shot 30% from the three-point line. The lineup will change. There's no one comes into this with great three-point stats that you say, well, we better choose one. So pick your poison.
Wow.
We're not going to help underneath. We're going to make them throw it to the three-point line. Markovic's going to step up and make it at the moment. Unable to.
Here comes Stefan Jovic, the 25-year-old, into the court. That was a very slight foul by Teodosic. But a foul, I guess, at the end. As we see John Holland take the court for Puerto Rico, the last addition to this team, replacing Mike Rosario, who had a pretty good job in Central Basket, but Rosario's grandmother, who brought him up, passed away right before the start of this tournament. Rosario loses the handle, and it's stripped by Kalinic. Puerto Rico had 23 turnovers against Italy in a warm-up before this game. Jokic misses, but it counts because somebody hung on from the rim or the net.
Yeah, someone hit the ring. Apart from the foul count, if you're Puerto Rico, you've got to be happy with the way the game is being structured. It's a bit open, it's a bit scrappy.
Nice pass by Diaz, and a foul by Teodosic.
But they're getting things like that because it's broken. Teodosic is...
Vasallo comes up limping.
I think he just rolled right now, just turned it as he twisted out of the foul, limped away.
And he's favoring his ankle,
Yeah.
retying his left shoe.
He's not coming out right now.
Speaking of coming out, Holland is in here because Barea asked for timeout. Time on the bench, catch his breath.
The thing that Serbia, even though the game is broken and Puerto Rico will be happy, they are literally working you out. They're making you work for every single possession. Djordjevic rotates, gets everybody in. There's never a moment. Often Brera the whole time was chased. And you made the point, the age of this Puerto Rican team is not the youngest team. And if they win tonight, so what? They're still going to win another few games. These guys got to keep coming back.
Could turn out to be a Pyrrhic victory as we see another foul here. This time it's Marcos Simovic.
And now Puerto Rico are going to be shooting because they're in the, both teams are in the penalty.
So we have 3 teams on the court today.
Well, and it's, I always get to this point, if they're going to call the game this way, then players need to adjust right now and say, right, that's how we're going to call it, then fine, I'm not going to get into it because...
They're not adjusting yet.
Not yet at all, because everyone's still reaching, everyone's going after it.
Again, he tangled with Clemente.
And when you've got people such as Arroyo and Barrera on the floor, they're not going to get phased by this. They're going to play through it. This is setting itself up nicely for, game one, first night, second game. Already know you're in the Olympic Qualifying Tournament.
Clemente was not necessarily known for being a fine free throw shooter. Ties the game at 18. Teodosic misses, races the rim, and the ball goes out of bounds into the hands of Puerto Rico. You know that if you were brought up in New York as Ramon Clemente, and everybody knows you as Ramon, and you come to Puerto Rico, play for the national team, and they start giving you a classic Puerto Rican nickname, Moncho, you've made it. You've made it in Puerto Rico. Beloved. Of course, he's also a relative of that famous baseball player from Puerto Rico, Roberto Clemente.
Wow.
Known as an idol, as the runner by Arroyo puts Puerto Rico in the lead, and there's a bit of unease here at Belgrade Arena.
Well, if you're going to chase Carlos Arroyo, and he's in the sort of frame of mind he appears to be, he will break you down and find a way to score.
Puerto Rico switches, and a nice move by Diaz. The second time he takes the ball off the cylinder. The first time was off a free throw. Denying penetration. Jokic is in. Boy, he got hammered. No foul. Rebounded by Holland. Here comes Arroyo. Behind the back pass. Clemente. No look pass. And Diaz lays it in against backboard. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Puerto Rico is up by 4.
It's not a Serbia game. Those are smiles and brig. It's not one of those games where they work it out, they move the ball, get shots they want. It's a little bit up and down, a little bit one-on-one.
A little ragged.
And that's Puerto Rico taking full advantage of that at the moment.
And that happened to the old Yugoslavia as well. There's very different styles of play. They're typically not used to seeing each other in that style of play. Huertas with the dribble. Looks at the clock. There's 5 seconds to shoot. All the way to the rim, but he cannot finish. And here comes Teodosic in time, no good. That is the end of an exciting foul play. First quarter, Puerto Rico ahead by 1 over Serbia.
Poštovani posjetioci, naši volonteri poslaće sada u publiku 3 molte loptice za trojicu srećnih hvatača iz prednjih koji će u ovom
Stats going to be interesting for a number of reasons. Turnovers and also the ability of teams to actually be efficient. That's not been the most efficient half of basketball that you'd have expected to see. Serbia at 50 and 25. Rebound-wise, Puerto Rico just having that edge, but this game is, to me, is a broken game. It's a game where Puerto Rico, even though they got 5 turnovers, it's almost like they won't worry about that because that's the style, that's the type of game that's going to favor them. And I love the way that they're getting contributions off the bench. I haven't seen them up in the flesh, so to speak, since the World Cup. This is a different attitude this team has.
But it's also Cassiano deciding that starting lineups don't matter. I will start every game with a different lineup if I have to. For example, they brought in 2 co-captains, but you can only have 1 per game. Tonight at Barrera, tomorrow it could be Arroyo. It doesn't matter. I think he's beginning to change that mindset in Puerto Rico. He's full bench. We talked about the 8 of 12 being over the age of 30. And Cassiano has a nice feel for substitutions and lineups and what works. And he's still finding that out with this group. They essentially did not practice, and 4 members of this team came from the finals in Puerto Rico right to Panama without a practice to show up for the first game in which they lost against Panama by over 20 points, and then they won every single game afterwards, so they're finding themselves.
Ali ako vikend, ajmo u Puerto Rico, to znači da vi ćete odbrano iz Srbije. Ili dižete buku.
The thing that was impressive is the way that Puerto Rico dealt with that pressure that Serbia were putting on them. There was a period of time when they were struggling, they stayed with it, and now they're not turning the ball over as much, now they're in it, and I think Serbia are going to have to be a little bit careful about just going straight up man-to-man with no worry about help, because Puerto Rico exploiting it.
Alongside former UK women's national team coach Mark Clark, this is Alvaro Martin. We're in Belgrade Arena, and Arroyo launches early, and the ball is off the hand of John Holland, who will be playing for the Boston Celtics on the 4th of July. Happy 4th for those of you watching us in the States. Also known as Decision Day for Kevin Durant. I think he's going west to Golden State Warriors. Now the rest of the NBA can figure out their lineups.
Huertas is, to say the least, doing a job on Nedovic. Did not let Nedovic see the basketball.
Another foul on Jorge Brian Diaz. And again, the bigs have that trouble. They had that trouble against Italy as well, quickly piling up the fouls and leaving Puerto Rico bereft of big men. No look pass inside. Another pass and a dunk. Beautiful move. And a bucket by Marko Simonovic.
If you get caught watching the ball, this team move and find. That's tremendous ball movement, but the movement away from the basketball just, wow, let's just say typically Serbian.
Lots of dribble handoffs for Puerto Rico. They don't have another choice, and Arroyo picks up the dribble. Here comes Diaz, stripped. And it's in the hands of Jokic. Inside, behind the back, a little too fancy. Here comes Holland. And a foul by Bogdan Bogdanovic. Check that. That was from Nemanja Nedovic. As we see Peter John Ramos pondering what's going on in the game. Quickly gets up.
He ponders no more.
Yes. Number's been called, number 36. He's another one. He was actually a teammate of Cassiano in the 2004 Athens Olympics, along with Carlos Arroyo. Arroyo, the hero of that game, with 22 points against the USA. Cassiano was the second top scorer with 18 points.
Well, it's a straightforward thing. Ralucha comes in, so Ramos comes in. You know, it's, Cassiano likes that matchup, thinks they can get something out of it, and so far he's definitely in the positive.
Heavyweights, in more ways than one.
I didn't think anyone would make Ralucha look small, but Ramos makes him look very small.
8 to shoot. Shake and bake by Arroyo. Beautiful move. He showed the ball to Ralujic and saying, you want to block it? Try it. Froze him for a second. He makes the bucket. And Sasha Djordjevic calls a timeout. His team down again to Puerto Rico by 1.
The issue they have now is, up until now, I'm gonna play you one-on-one, I'm gonna guard you, I'm gonna get after it. Now he's gonna have to work out how he's gonna help, because Arroyo on a couple of occasions has got deep, no one has come to help, and he's scored. They've got people cutting and getting shots going to the hoop, and again, no defensive rotation. Once you get in that defensive rotation, it just creates a whole level.
Part of this crowd that's not maybe not yet capacity, yeah, probably not, but close to. This arena was built in 1991. It houses 25,000 souls, although they've never really had that number here.
Officially.
Officially, yes. Now the people in the hallway, the standing room only crowd is not counted. But essentially, for most events, because of usage of space for other purposes, it cuts down to 19,000. We expect to see a full-throated bunch here if Serbia makes a final game on Saturday. 6 teams here, only one makes it to Rio. As talk about a walk in the park for this youngster.
Nedovic is quick.
Nedovic.
Very quick. In Malaga last year, I would say, I always thought underused.
Another crossover by Arroyo behind the back. They feed Ramos. He was held, and that's a third foul. Ralujic held his arm.
I don't think there's no complaint here. Watch, you know, you can talk a little bit about there was palms both ways, but Ramos is big. He has space. He's entitled to it, and Ralujic had to come around. The crowd loves Stimac. He's just heart and soul.
Why wouldn't you? You know, Vladimir Stimac, 28-year-old, played for Red Star, and we saw him practice yesterday. He basically puts on the overalls and gets to work.
That's what he is.
Holland, curl shot. Ramos with the offensive board and the putback.
Well, Ramos has been a huge plus. Fouls drawn, he's filling space. He's weighing credit at the moment.
Bounce pass inside, and there you go, Stimac with the bucket, the assist, courtesy of Marko Simonovic, his teammate in Red Star.
It's just the helper stuff for Puerto Rico. That's the third time. The penetration, then one pass, and then the second pass just gets the assist.
Holland, beautiful move, but he cannot finish. And the ball is off. Let's see, it's off Clemente's hands. It will belong to Serbia. Clinging to a 1-point lead. There's an expression in Puerto Rico, all that swimming only to die by the shore. And that's exactly what happened here with Holland. All that move, all those moves, he just couldn't finish. No, it's Puerto Rico's ball. Check that.
Yeah, the referees actually did a good job. They actually got it right.
Oh, bad pass on the inbounds. Arroyo didn't have any balance. But again, that's the kind of pressure Serbia is exerting on Puerto Rico. They're making the angles are being widened on those passes just to make sure that Serbia doesn't get to them.
Well, they make you make an extra step. They make you make a second move, and then after a period of time, that just wears you down.
A zone by Puerto Rico. Netovic with a three. Sharpshooter. So he can score inside with a runner. He can kill you with a three from outside.
Again, you got to back the stat. He was under 30% from the three-point line on the season. He's a better shooter than that, but...
Alley-oop with Ramos. And a foul. Stimats pushing from behind.
It must be the fourth foul that Ramos has drawn.
Provoked.
Yeah, he's just by being Ramos. He's not doing anything apart from being what he is.
It is the fourth drawn by PJ, Peter John. Oh, nice backdoor move. Arroyo outside to Holland. And it's rebounded by Jokic. An early three-point shot in that possession by Simonovic, and it's rebounded by Ramos. So Puerto Rico settled down. The game has settled down. Serbia's up by 4, though. And Barrera picked up the dribble. Clemente. Tough shot. It's in against Netovic.
Oh, and they really needed the two because the points have dried up for a few possessions. And Clemente with a tough move. The help was there.
Kalinic back on the court for Serbia.
The Serbian team look a little bit like they're trying to find themselves. You know, occasionally they'll come down and fire up a quick one, then they'll get into their movement. The tempo is always high though.
This is a very interesting lineup on the court right now for Djordjevic, don't you think?
Oh yeah, he's got
Bogdanovic with a three. Stimac with a rebound.
That's what he gets paid money to do, just outwork people.
Elbowed his way in, can't make the bucket, and Ramos finally gets the ball. I talked about the Serbian lineup on the court right now.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I think Djordjevic is just, first half, he's going to look and rotate lineups.
Holland with a dribble. A missed floater again. Oh, an open three, rebounded by Kalinic. Bogdanovic again with a three. They keep missing threes. Open threes. They're now 3 for 12.
But they're, all of last year's Eurobasket, under 30% from the three-point line. It's not the way the Serbian team is going to be a great team.
Holland with a corner three this time. 6'6", 6 meters, 60 centimeters. The shortest three-point shot you can take in FIBA basketball, and he makes it. And now Puerto Rico goes back up on top by 1. Jokic against Ramos, and he draws the foul. Ramos now commits his first. Of all the bigs not to get into foul trouble, Ramos is one. You maybe what happened when he had to leave the game early because he was a little disoriented.
It definitely looked like he was definitely in that way, yeah. Didn't quite appear to be that focused at all.
But that saved them from the jitters from both the referees and the players in the early part of the game, so he's not in foul trouble. He'll go to the bench, though.
If they can get consistent use of Ramos in the way they are at the moment, relatively short periods, but when he's in there, he's a factor. It's really going to help this group. Borkman, I think, looked very, very active when he was in the game.
Now the Bachman in the game for him as we see the young Stefan Jovic miss the first free throw. Mentioned he's one of 4 players with Red Star, made 71% of his free throws this year. He won the Serbian League and the Adriatic League this season and last. But yeah, denied, turns towards the basket. Holland throws up a three. And Jokic grabs the rebound. Casiano asks for a timeout. Kalinic wide open three again. And he makes it. Little breakdown defensively by Puerto Rico, and this time the open three goes down for Serbia, and they go up by 2.
Yeah, it's Borkman who just looked like he needed to go and help, but then just got caught well, to an extent, standing in the keyway after the ball was reversed. But at the end of the day, if a team is coming out and shooting 3 from 13, 4 from 13, you know, pick your poison, don't give them the penetration. They've got to be happy. Cassiano's got to be happy. I don't think Georgiev's going to be too unhappy. He's rotated everybody. He's still looking for a lineup. And he'll find that right. Theodosic has played minimal minutes so far. If he gets into a situation in the second half, he's going to go back to him.
When Diaz, Sanchez, and Bachmann all picked up 2 quick fouls, it seemed to have put Puerto Rico at a disadvantage. And I think the smaller lineup with more ball handlers helped Puerto Rico.
Well, it definitely, and also the way the officials were calling the game, as in, once Serbia started getting called fouls, it's prevented them going after as much. And there's not been as many fouls in this second half. It's still up there in terms of overall. Serbia's just got 1 foul to give. But it's been a much more less than frantic, should we say, second quarter than the first. I mean, it's extended minutes for Markovic, and now Teodosic comes back in after that timeout. So if you were going to say, well, how are you going to deal with it? We're going to go small ourselves. If you're Serbia, Bogdanovic goes to 3, and they are literally going to have 3 guards in the game.
Puerto Rico with only 2 fouls in this second quarter. Bachmann attacks Jokic. And it's off Jokic's hand, back to Puerto Rico.
You know, I'm backing Bultman in that situation to either score or be fouled. We're going to get a look at it. Just needs to go stronger with that left hand and protect it.
14 seconds now to shoot. And a foul. And it's committed by Stefan Markovic.
And that's the type of pressure that wasn't being called right at the beginning of the game, when Markovic in particular was really going after it. They've gone away from the hard show, so they're trying to protect the middle a little bit more.
Another 14-second reset. High pick by Bachmann, if he can place it. Barea on Jokic. Hesitation. A floater. In time, no good. Jokic this time with a rebound. Up ahead.
Great look.
To Markovic. Ali, no. Clemente with a loose ball. That's a missed opportunity by Serbia. Up 2.
Dodge bullet.
Lot more movement by Puerto Rico up and down the half court. Corner shot by Vasallo. He's a dangerous man from there. No good this time. Into the hands of Jokic.
That's been the really pleasing thing. When Puerto Rico break pressure and do generate help, they found the open man really well. They've shared it really well. So it's like a nicely poised at the moment. Great
intercepted by Bachmann. He's going to go all the way. No, he pulls it up. Jokic right now with 8 points and 6 boards. Barea to Vasallo. Danny Vasallo misses again. Milo Teodosic bringing up the court. Bogdanovic one-on-one against Barea. And finally a foul by JJ Barea.
Lična greška broj 5, personal foul number 5, Jose Juan Barea.
Yeah, Barrera's going to claim that the arm was extended by Bogdanovic. The referee's going to wait till Bogdanovic gets into here, where it's going to be a shooting foul.
Now remember, though, Barea has that reputation for exaggerating contact and trying to bait the referees into that. So they're going to be hesitant to call it unless it's absolutely obvious.
I mean, Bogdanovic did extend his arm, but there was just no contact to really be to call off. So.
Teodosic in the paint, outside of Bogdanovic for the 3. Wow. Barea with a great effort, but he couldn't get the rebound. Puerto Rico does, down 2. High side pick, Barea launches a 3. Puerto Rico getting a little 3 happy in this segment of the game. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. What a game so far in this nightcap of day 1 of competition in the qualifying tournament for the Olympic Games in Rio. Tremendous miss by Jokic. How did he miss that? Huertas loses ball. He just lost the ball. It's an issue. And finally, a timeout.
Well, if we get a look at Teodosic on the pass, I have no idea how they missed because it was almost 2 on a plate, but Teodosic just finds people, he finds angles, he drops balls in stride. He's just a joy if you're playing with him.
Sasha Djordjevic calls a timeout for Serbia.
Djordjevic is not going to be unhappy with the overall. He's going to be unhappy with Lukic's foul situation. But the problem he's got, if he has a problem, he's dodged a few bullets in the last few possessions because they've been broken down against that pressure and they've found open players, and Puerto Rico haven't made open shots. While it's like this, he's going to trust his defense to try and wear Puerto Rico down. If Puerto Rico hang around, they've got guys who will make big shots. And it's the contribution, we've said it a few times, the contribution across the roster that's the impressive. And he's not, no one's had to be overplayed in that Puerto Rican lineup, so those old legs are going to be good for the second half.
If you told me that one team at the end of the first half would go 4 of 15 from behind the arc, I would say it would be Puerto Rico, but it is Serbia.
Well, as I keep saying, if they had an Achilles heel in Eurobasket, it was their inability to consistently knock down threes.
These are open threes they're missing, too.
Oh, yeah. Bogdanovic is the surprise because he's had such a great season. And what he's done, he's played a lot of minutes. Coach Obradovic in Fenerbahce has played him a lot. And he's just scoring for fun if you leave him open. He just can't buy one at the moment. How long that's going to last, I wouldn't back him for the game.
Bachman overplayed Jokic, over to Bogdanovic. It's good. There you go.
There's the answer to how long it's going to last.
Rights were traded from Phoenix to Sacramento Kings in the NBA, but he will play for Fenerbahce in the SPL, the Turkish Super Basketball League, next year.
His movement away from the ball on that, yeah, he has a great shooter, but his movement just made the pass so easy.
Bachman just started running without the ball in his hands, and he takes a long jumper. Wow, that's not the shot they wanted. It was open. That's not the shot they wanted. Teodosic setting the pace, controlling the pace. Inside to Jokic, it's in. Nice little cut from the weak side.
Yeah.
And now it's a 7-point Serbian lead, the largest lead for Serbia. Late in the second half, in the first half.
It's a very simple adjustment for Puerto Rico to talk about. It's an incredibly hard one to actually execute because they held fine on the first one. It's just other people get caught looking at the ball. And this is the 4th or 5th time where the helper has just been blind to the cut. And they've been all caught frozen on the basketball. And if you've got a Bogdanovic or a Teodosic in that situation, or any Serbian guard, they just know they need to pass to find the open man.
Interestingly, Eddie Cassiano was kind of a bit of a version of Oscar Schmidt, the great Brazilian legend and star, basketball star. Of course, Schmidt was known for being a tremendous offensive player, but let's just call it a disinterested defensive player. Well, Cassiano had a bit of that reputation. However, as a coach, Cassiano's calling card has been defense. So he constantly says, you know, I never bring up my personal career and my experience to teach my players. So it's basically do as I preach, don't do as I did, in his case, in terms of defense. The other thing that I noticed about this team compared to the ones we saw in Sevilla in 2014 at the World Cup of Basketball and the one I saw in FIBA Americas in Mexico last summer, this team is much more focused on the game. They're not chirping to the refereeing. They are not complaining to each other. They're much more into the game. And it's good to see, by the way. Correa. Over to Vasallo with an open three. Ball goes into the hands of Teodosic, ahead to Bogdanovic for the easy layup. I don't know how Teodosic saw Bogdanovic.
And you will run the break every single time if you've got Teodosic on the floor because he looks past in the one motion.
Arroyo finally gets the pick by Bachman. But Bogdanovic stays with him. A lot of dribbling by Arroyo. Ball's out of bounds. It didn't go out of bounds. It's a 24-second violation by Puerto Rico. A lot of dribbling by Carlos Arroyo.
Well, it's taken 18 minutes for the defense to start to really wear him down, and they're getting points off their defense. And there could be a double-digit lead at the half, and the game doesn't feel like a double-digit game.
A 12-5 points off turnovers advantage for Serbia. Foul by David Huertas.
That's a good foul. They have one to give, so.
Huertas has a reputation for being a defensive stopper and for loving tough assignments. Well, here, let me introduce you to Milos Teodosic. Physically may not be imposing, but his head is as good as any, playing for CSKA in Moscow. As Guillermo Diaz comes in, he's had a wonderful season for Capitanes de Arecibo in the BSN in Puerto Rico. Great youth national team category volleyball player, great leaper. Of course, a little bit older now, but he's become what everybody thought he would be, even the Clippers thought he could be, a point guard this year. A quick foul by Diaz, I believe, on Teodosic.
Whereas that's not the smartest foul in the world. We'll send Teodosic, and that's just poor. John Holland, I think, should have got called for it. He's going down the lane. He's not got a great angle. You still foul him. He's going to go to the free throw line. Teodosic doesn't miss free throws. I mean, he's an 88% across the season. In the EuroLeague, he was around 90.
29 years old. Spent 4 years with Olympiacos in the A1 league in Greece. Then he went to CSKA, where he's played the last 5 seasons. Heady player, great player. Very happy, though, where he is right now in his career.
Oh.
Won the championships in Russia in 2012, 14, 15, and 16. And won the EuroLeague championship this year as well. As now we have a 10-point lead with the free throws. And he'll take a breather. Pressure again on the inbound. Long shot by Bachman, and it's no good, and that is the end of the first half. It was a close game. Puerto Rico was up by a point, and then Serbia has basically rattled off the last 12 points of this second quarter to take a 10-point halftime lead over Puerto Rico in the first meeting between these two nations since 2002.
Well, it doesn't feel like a 10-point lead, but the execution of Serbia defensively really, at the end, wore it down. And slight rebound advantage. The assist is the thing that really tells you all you need to know about this Serbian team. When you're on this team, you move, you get. If you're open, you get your hands up, you get the basketball. They move the ball as well as any team in world basketball, and they play with each other. Djokic looked, like you said, right at the beginning of the game, he looks like, pure quality. And across the stat line, really has had a very, very effective first half.
Listen to this. Second quarter only. Puerto Rico has missed 14 of 18 shots overall and 8 of 9 threes.
Well, they went through that period where they got a little three-point happy, they got a little perimeter happy, and they still had the penetration. Now, if this is what Cassiano wants, to penetrate and kick, as we get the replay of the Barrera big three early in the game, then he's still going to be happy because he's getting shots he wants, and in 10 points he can live with that. Serbia, if he was asking Serbia to take threes, then he got what he wanted because they missed a bucket load of threes until the end. This is where he has a problem, where they penetrate and kick. They penetrate and kick and get easy looks. So Roy had found a way to get going. They stopped getting to the basket and got a little bit happy from the perimeter. I don't think he'll mind about Teodosic taking threes because that's not Teodosic's big strength.
Puerto Rico's best moments on offense actually came when they had some shooting inside with Ramos and Clemente. Not necessarily with the threes, but actually getting inside with floaters, penetrations.
Well, I think their whole half was, the more they broke the defense down and kicked, the more they went inside, not necessarily to score, the better options they were. They got a little one pass and out for a while. Ramos was a big plus for Puerto Rico, but in the end, what Djordjevic expects to happen in most games is defense wore them down. But if we're looking at the whole thing, Puerto Rico know they have a way to be competitive with Serbia. If you were going to have a checklist of things to come out of this game, Puerto Rico have already ticked a few boxes. They're only 10 down. This game is far from over.
We talked about ball handling from Puerto Rico. They ended up the first half with 9 turnovers. The question that I have for you is, would you play Barrera and Arroyo just about the entire second half if you'd like to win this game? I'm not necessarily suggesting they do want to win this particular game, but would you do that?
Well, I think they've got to spend periods of time on the floor together because they didn't, a lot of the time, work as a unit. They were safer with the ball because they just had two better ball handlers. But if you've got a Roy and Barrera on the floor that you have to respect their one-on-one stuff, it makes it a difficult task for the defense. So periods of time, they're going to have to play together. I don't know if they're going to burn them out in this game.
10-point Serbian lead at the end of the first half. We will be back with quarter number 3 in this first game of the qualifying tournament for the 2016 Rio Olympic Games in Brazil in a few moments.
Globalni sponsor, globalni partner FIBA je kompanija PIK. A model patika koje Petar dobio su patike Miloš Teodosić. Ajmo još veliki aplauz za Petra. I spremite se za navijanje u drugom poluvremenu. Kao što rekao, mi ne smemo po pravilima FIBA da favorizujemo jednu ekipu, ali ako ja, na primjer, kažem vamos Puerto Rico, onda vi znate šta da radite. To je kad oni napadaju, a mi igramo odbranu, dižete buku. Jer ako kažem Srbija, moram da kažem i Puerto Rico. Ok, spremite se za drugo poluvreme, bila je fenomenalna igra naših u drugoj četvrtini i rezultat 10 poena.
Welcome you back to Belgrade Arena. Serbia beating Puerto Rico by 10, 41-31, alongside former UK women's national team head coach Mark Clark. This is Alvaro Martin. Serbians are opening this tournament. Remember, 6 teams are here representing 4 continents. 3 European teams, an Asian team in Japan, an American team from Puerto Rico, and an African team from Angola. The Czech Republic rests tonight. They'll be playing in Group B tomorrow. Angola will rest, and they will face Puerto Rico in the first game tomorrow as Eddie Casiano gets his team ready. It wasn't a great close. All 3 three-pointers by Serbia were the last 3 three-pointers they took in the second quarter. They really got into the three-point game. The open shots they were missing earlier, they were finally making. And Puerto Rico has to hope and apply themselves to make sure they don't come out with a quick run to start the third quarter. I mean Serbia.
Yeah, I think that if they deal with the defense, if they make the little adjustments defensively themselves, Puerto Rico, they're right in this, but they can't, as you say, they can't give a little 4 or 6.60 start here.
Again, a different opening lineup for Puerto Rico. Peter John Ramos will not start the second half. It will be Ricky Sanchez, who committed 2 quick fouls, and he will be guarding Jokic. Jokic misses the handle. Took his eye off the ball for a second, and Morea will bring it up the court for Puerto Rico. Drives the basket, makes it all the way in, and the foul by Markovic.
Great transition. Defense wasn't set, he kept pushing it. You go right back to the other end where they started, though. Sanchez dodged the bullet because Djokovic makes the same cut again, doesn't get hit, and he just fumbles it. Sanchez could be a difference maker here for Puerto Rico if he just applies himself defensively. His offense will look after itself. Barrera in transition is a great option because they've been really working him out Serbia. If he can get it in transition, he's not going to have to work as hard as he did in the first half.
Meanwhile, in the FIBA Olimpico in Torino, Italia, which seats 15,000, the host team Italy beating Tunisia by 11. An easy shot, but in and out, rebounded by Bertovic.
Someone's got to tell Ricky Sanchez, if he keeps going under those screens, they're going to score.
Now they switch. Jokic is all alone. Inside, too easy, but they miss a jippy.
But that adjustment we talked about him trying to make.
Kalinic is blocked.
Same adjustment we talked about him trying to make. We see the three. Sanchez has no complaint. He hipped him. But that adjustment where you help, then someone has to help you is a big adjustment Puerto Rico have to make. Otherwise,
help the helper.
Yeah, Serbia will just keep finding the open player, the extra pass to the open player.
It is the third foul on Sanchez, and Coach Cassiano elects to keep him in the game. He's been foul prone, to say the least.
I think it's a good option, though. Leave him in, because
let him get some rhythm.
Yeah, if you take him out now, if he carries on playing a little soft and picks up another foul, then you might sit him.
It's just his third minute on the court.
Got to find ways to get some productivity from him at the moment.
A gifted 18-year-old in Puerto Rico. Ball deflected and stolen by Kalinic. An easy dunk.
Switching defense, just switched to the passing lane. Barrera just didn't read it. I think Barrera needs Arroyo out there with him, just to take a little bit of pressure off him having to create so much for himself.
Bounce past the block. When he tried to dunk it, all he had to do was lay it in, and Vasallo gets fouled by Kalinic.
And how does Barrera feel now? He's had to work hard to bring it down. He gives a great pass to Borkman, who just blows her. Just lay it up.
Cassiano trying to send Puerto Rico to its first Olympics since Athens 2004, which he played. He would be the second person to play and coach for Puerto Rico in the Olympics. The first, one of their legends, Raymond Dalmau. Vasallo fronting the basket. It's good. Again, penetration by Barrera and the discharge outside from the three-pointer.
And Vasallo's movement was excellent. Really did make the pass easy for Barrera. Just got into a nice space. Really followed the penetration.
Jokic trying to post up Sanchez. 3 fouls. Sanchez trying not to commit the fourth. Bogdanovic inside. An easy layup. Easy layup for Bertovic.
No help. No help, no pressure. Serbia will just pass you to bits.
Foul by Bertovic on Barrera. Wants the shot, but they're not going to give him before the shot.
Yeah.
Bertovic with his first foul. It's even difficult to inbound the ball. Serbia now with 3 team fouls early in the third. Skip pass to David Huerta. Sanchez, corner 3. That's the corner 3 we're waiting, and an unsportsmanlike from Bachman.
I'm not sure which way the official's going to call it. No, he's looking at, he's either going to call it double or he's going to call it on
It's got to be double.
Kalinic. Yeah, he's called it double.
Number 13, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, double foul on Bachman and Kalinic.
Yeah, you've got to give Cassiano, Coach Cassiano, some credit. The easy option would be to take Sanchez out. 3 fouls, it's not your night. Left him in, makes the 3.
Again, a field for personnel. And he got a 3. Bogdanovic. No good. Rebounded by Sanchez, and a foul by Jokic. A little push after the rebound. Frustration by Jokic. Didn't have to do that.
Shoot the free throws now. It's getting a little bit personal at mid-court.
You know what's really interesting? You look at Sanchez. You look at that 3. When they had to win and beat Mexico, which is at Turin for their Olympic Qualifying Tournament there, one of the 6 teams there, they had to come up with a play with 22 seconds to go, and the play was drawn up for Barrera to come off the pick and penetrate, and if that wasn't there to get the corner 3 and have Ricky Sanchez win the tournament, Central Basket for Puerto Rico, and he did. And we talk about how Casiano understands his personnel, flaws, strengths, tries to obviously play up the strengths and downplay the weaknesses. And no one, I bet you asked 3.5 million Puerto Ricans who's going to take the last shot. The last person on that list would probably have been Ricky Sanchez for a 3. And yet not only he took it, he nailed it as he misses the first free throw.
Well, he made that 3 in the corner the last time out. He got a little bit more physical defensively, which meant he drew the foul. So, you know, that might get him into it, get him into the rhythm. Teodosic back for Serbia. So you know when things are getting a little hairy, Teodosic will see the floor.
Bogdanovic. Bachman tips that ball back into the hands of Jokic. He lost the ball. Runner by Bogdanovic over Bachman. And the foul by Ronaldo Bachman. That is his 4th.
Izmena u Puerto Rico, in the game, broj 1, number 1, Ramon Clemente, out of the game, Bachman.
And why Bogdanovic is, to an extent, got to the next level in the last year or so, he's now not the one-dimensional player. He has the ability to take it. He's a good athlete, gets off the floor, takes a bit of contact, he can still finish. If he makes this, it's back to a 9-point game. But with the foul count the way it is, you've got to love the way that Puerto Rico have started this third quarter.
Although Bogdanovic missed the free throw, Sanchez had a nice notion, but he loses the ball, falling to the ground. Kalinic.
Go. When he put it on the floor, you say go, and he wants to have another dribble.
Bogdanovic, it's good, and it's a 3. And now Serbia stretches to an 11-point lead.
But it's all Bogdanovic, that extension to 11.
Barea sneaks up, misses, and here's Ramon Clemente with a putback. And assistant coach Manolo Cintron, who headed the Puerto Rican national team for 3 years between 2007 and the World Championship in Turkey in 2010, was telling Sanchez exactly that. Open shot, Stimats. Last to touch the ball, already exchanging the foul for the possession here. Stimats shouldn't complain much. And now, the ball belongs again in the hands of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, just bounced off Markovic's foot.
Sanchez brings it up the court. Oh, backboard violation.
No, he got his feet back down. Everything stayed on the right side. What a frustration. Sanchez could be such a factor for this team.
Vasallo dribbling, intercepted by Stimats into the hands of Teodosic. Oh, between the legs pass back to Stimats. Now here comes David Huertas with the steal. Heading all the way, and he actually misfired. The ball just hit the bottom of the backboard. Teodosic, bounce pass to Bogdanovic, what a beautiful thing. He waited to get everybody's attention, and then at the last minute, the little pocket pass ahead. And an easy score for Bogdan Bogdanovic. Now has 10 points. 3 Serbians with 10, Nikola Jokic, Nikola Kalinic, and now 12, I should say, for Bogdan Bogdanovic to lead Serbia.
Ispoštujte njihovu tranziciju koja je, udaraju nas u leđa, oni gube, oni hoće ritam. Znači moramo se vratiti odmah, nema gledanja. Kalina, dobra. Slušajte me drugi. Barea sa loptom. Vi se pomerimo kraj njemu. Ne previše pomažemo, ali da pomognemo ako krene problem. Čak i ako ode drugi, ide bliži pa će ovaj da ode nadalje. Slušajte me drugo. Teo, dodali smo loptu ovde. Ako smo ovo, jedan mora da ide.
Teodosic has been on the court. His team has taken 11 point lead over Puerto Rico, as we see Eddie Casiano, one of the great shooters and scorers in that league, born also in New York.
The whole game for Serbia just goes to a different level when Teodosic comes back in the game.
He does.
It's just... he wouldn't have had the chance to make that pretty play with Bogdanovic. If Huertas just goes to make the layup, and you see this, everybody's like frozen by Teodosic.
The spell. Talk about an easy layup for Bogdanovic.
Bogdanovic, I think, has the last 7 points for this Serbian team. Just when you thought Puerto Rico were getting over the hump back into the game, they're still only 11 down.
Bogdanovic, Teodosic, and Kalinic lead Serbia with 3 assists apiece, 15 in total for the team. Barea over to Clemente. Tough shot. Taken out and over the cylinder by Simonovic. Smart play. Oh, that's a foul. That's a foul.
Yeah.
Remember how they wouldn't give it to Barea last time? This time they did.
And the great thing if you're Barea is like, realize it, you didn't make a big deal of that. You didn't have to, so he did against the court.
That's new. Right?
Yeah, you know.
From what you've seen.
Because like he just takes the hit. He doesn't throw his arms up and bitches. And he gets hit, waits till the referee makes the call. Fine, we're just playing again.
Peter John Ramos back on the court for Puerto Rico. So is John Holland. And now we have Arroyo and Barea together on the court for Puerto Rico. Oh, what a cut by Ramos. Arroyo, but he gets fouled along the way. And it is going to be Stimac. Vladimir Stimac, 28-year-old, playing for Red Star. And that is the 5th foul now for Serbia in this third quarter with 4:53 to go. And Arroyo will go back to the line.
He's 3 from 4 from the field. He's not doing it. He's got no negative stat really, apart from he's just missed a free throw. He's missed a three-pointer early in that first half, but
88% free throw shooter with Barcelona this year. 83 in the EuroLeague competition with Barcelona.
If with Arroyo on the floor, maybe set a screen here for Barrera, give him a bit of space to play with, give him some advantage, because they can't help too much. I like the lineup that Puerto Rico have in the game. If Ricky Sanchez plays defense.
First time that lineup showed up together in force. Oh, intercepted by Sanchez. Here comes Barea. Barea stops, pops, and misses.
Arroyo's wide open on the three-point line. Got to share it there. There's 1 on 3 in the keyway.
Teodosic. Again, the spell. He just waited an extra half second. Everybody cleared out. Okay, thank you. An economy of movement, but great decision-making and a travel by Puerto Rico. Another turnover, and now Arroyo is hurt.
This is just going to be it's a bang. It looks like one of those dead leg type situations. I hope that's all it is. He's picking himself up. But that's just me, look, Teodosic for me. Like, Barrera took a bad decision. He make it or miss it, it's still a bad decision with the 1 on 3, with Arroyo wide open on the three-point line.
There's a reason why they're committing to you, right? You're closest to the basket, will dish it out.
And then Teodosic comes down the other end. No one picks him up. He just strokes the 3.
Another hesitation inside the Steven. He is the conductor.
Absolutely right.
Doesn't even need a baton. He's just playing the symphony here, as now Serbia stretches to a 15-point lead over Puerto Rico. Timeout, Eddie Casiano.
And the deal with Teodosic is once he gets it...
Number 15 and cinco
he matches up with the 5. There's enough good things here to Puerto Rico, regardless of how this game pans out. 15-point game, we're still talking positively about them. Teodosic gets to a different level, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to think. So the defense is looking, is he going to score, is he going to pop? And he's in total control of himself. And as we've said throughout this game, this team moves so well that if you're open, you're going to get it. And that makes you move even better. And that makes the defense worry about what's he going to do. Do you help? Do you not help?
And it's not necessarily what he's going to do with a dribble.
Yeah.
It's the way he sets everything up.
Yep.
In chess, he's about 3 or 4 moves ahead of you.
Yep. And you know, it's one of those players that the game is easy for him because he works so hard at being as good as he is at it. And the only place he loves to be is out here on the floor.
And again, the physicality aspect of basketball, which eventually will wear somebody down and wear them out of the game. The way he plays the game, he could play for a long time, too.
Yep.
Arroyo looks for contact. Can't find Barea, and he traveled finally. Arroyo could have passed to Barea, but he actually looked at him and turned around to see Holland.
Yeah, but like Bogdanovic just flew the passing lane, and whoever's been guarding Barea has just been all over everything. defense for Serbia now, one-on-one, one pass away, denial. It is a clinic.
14 turnovers by Puerto Rico. Dimas over Ramos. Nice baby hook.
Pleases the local crowd.
Which I have to say, when Arroyo got hurt and he showed that he was fine, the crowd gave him an ovation.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Offensive foul by Peter John Ramos. And that is his second foul.
Personal foul number 36. Peter Ramos
puts his palm on it. You can't really see it. Has his palm right across.
Serbia out of the game.
Stimac. That's what Stimac does to people. He's never going to play you big. He plays you quick. He just outworks you. He really does fit Coach Djordjevic's like mentality for his team.
Sanchez guarding Teodosic. 5 seconds to shoot. And Ramos grabs the rebound. Stefan Jovic on the court now guarding Arroyo. Correa right into Simonovic. Simonovic gets called for the foul.
And the difference there with Simonovic got caught a little bit. Do I help? Do I not help? Which gave Barrera a little bit of space to attack when Arroyo gave him the pass.
Second foul on Simonovic, and only Raul Jitsa has 3 fouls for Serbia. For Puerto Rico, 4 for Bachman, 3 for Ricky Sanchez, who's still on the court. Correa makes the second. A 16-point Serbian lead with less than 3 minutes to go. Tomislav Nikolic, the president of the Republic of Serbia, enjoying the game so far. Nice cut, beautiful. Blindside cut. That one, Puerto Rico snapping. Holland and Barea.
It's just as soon as you say, it's an easy coaching thing to say, but to see it executed, it's just great.
That's a forced shot by Barea. Up front to Jovic. Teodosic. Rebounded by Nedovic. They attack Ricky Sanchez with a hesitation move. Oh, beautiful move inside, and Ramos lays it in.
Nice execution, nice pick, nice roll. 3 people touch the ball quickly. Defense has no time to adjust because they're all in the passing lane, the other side of the floor.
Such a gigantic human being. Peter John Ramos has soft hands. They try the hammer pass. That's not there. That was a bit of a floater and a put by Stevens. Again, Ricky Sanchez didn't go for his man.
Yeah, and it's going to sound like we're giving him a hard time. It's more frustration if you're a Puerto Rican fan. He just didn't drop and work to the glass at all. If he had, his team would have got a defensive rebound.
Ramos backing everybody down. Bring on the world. Ramos. He gets the bucket. Stimac just got a little taste of an elbow there, too. Ooh, a little close shave. He thought he had shaved this morning. Ramos finished the job there.
Ramos has had a nice game. And, you've got to credit the way he's applied himself, the way he's been asked to do.
Teodosic. Over Ramos for the bucket. 20-point Serbian lead. Unbelievable pass by Arroyo. And here comes Barea with a corner 3. Tapped out by Ramos. Here comes Sanchez with an open 3. No good. The putback. It's in by John Holland. Great second effort by Holland. His grandmother was a track athlete in and for Puerto Rico many, many moons ago. Grew up in the States, went to Boston University. Nedovic rebounded by Ramos, and that is the end of the third quarter. It's a third quarter, a high-scoring one, where Serbia wins the quarter 28-20, and they're ahead in this game by 18 points, 69-51 at the end of 3 here at Belgrade Arena. As we take a look at the stats through 3 quarters, a rebounding edge for Serbia, barely, but look at the difference in assists. 19-7.
Yeah, it's
19 assists on 28 made baskets.
And that just tells you everything about, one, Milos Teodosic, 2, about the fundamental execution of the way Serbia run, the way they execute cuts, and the fact that when they're being given the pass is perfect. It's not just in the general place, it's just you catch it, you score. And we saw that. That's how they practice. That's what they do all the time. It's a joy to watch.
Galini's putting a little mustard on that hot dog.
And if you then add it to how they play at the defensive end, and they just wear you out and run at you and get what they want, and they have such a feel for the game. But if you're Puerto Rico,
that's one of 6 assists for
it doesn't feel like an 18-point game, because you get it. It's like a Teodosic highlight part of that quarter. But this guy Ramos has done a nice job getting to the bucket. He's done a really nice job at filling space. And Cassiano's found a way that his team is very efficient. And there is a lot to be positive about if you're Puerto Rico. And there is, an 18-point game in Serbia in this Belgrade Arena is probably possibly going to be far too much to get back from. But this team has got some real positives to take out of this game.
What a beautiful play. Clemente thought he had fouled Teodosic. The play went on. Bogdanovic scores, and now Moncho Clemente on the other side. And a great move by Simonovic to get the ball out and over the rim.
They can just add some stuff away from the basketball when Roy is at the point in particular to get Barrera a little bit of an advantage, or whoever else a bit of an advantage. They'll pick up more. They'll be more efficient offensively.
Correa starts the fourth quarter on the Puerto Rican bench. Raduljica back on. He had 3 fouls. He's guarding Ramos. Turns around. And Holland's battling like a maniac for every rebound. A fake and a foul. He'll go to the line. Bogdanovic. Sorry, the foul is Netovic.
That's a big effort on the offensive glass here. He's 1 on 2, gets it, goes up in traffic, takes the hit. If you gave Ricky Sanchez some of John Holland's assertiveness and athleticism on the glass there, Ricky Sanchez could make a real impact. Consistent impacts. He's had some impacts as it is.
Played 39 games for the Canton Charge in Ohio for the NBDL, and then got called up late in the season by the Celtics, and they kept him. He's 27 years old. Maternal grandmother Margarita Jaime was a noted long jumper. He's had a lot of injury. Couldn't really be a factor in joining the team in Mexico. Got injured in Seville, Spain, as well. His participation was limited because of that injury. 16-point Serbian lead. Luis Huerta. Took him all the way. What a shot by Nemanja Netovic. Plays for Malaga Unicaja in Endesa in the Spanish league. Peter John just bounces the ball off his foot. It's a turnover. Allows the penetration. 9 to shoot. And it's rebounded by Arroyo. Nice defense by Puerto Rico. Raduljica on the ground, and a foul by Serbia. Jovic to stop play.
Lična greška broj 24, personal foul number 24, Stefanovic.
There is a former point guard who, they say point guard make some of the best coaches. He's 48 years old, Sasha, born right here in Belgrade. Played 108 games for the Yugoslavian and Serbian-Montenegro national teams. Arroyo, not a three-point shooter, penetrates. Huertas is a three-point shooter, and he makes the shot.
Right. Took it down one side, extended the defense, a little penetration by Arroyo. The defense is sucked in and kicked it. Excellent execution. This Puerto Rican team is in a good place. It appears it's in a good place.
Ramos grabs the rebound. Puerto Rico winning this quarter 5-2, and a quick, again, early foul by Marko Simonovic.
Simonovic, personal foul number 5.
His third foul.
Yeah, for me in this situation there, if Puerto Rico get this to a 10 or a less than 10-point game, and they do end up playing Serbia later on in the tournament, there's a mentality thing that says, yep, we're in this game. And you know, this is not over. It's still 8 minutes to go. There's a way back for Puerto Rico, but one way or another, you know, they've proved to themselves, perhaps, and definitely proved to Serbia they're a serious contender here.
The National Superior Basketball League in Puerto Rico has 11 teams. Established in 1929, before FIBA itself was established. Their finals wrapped up on June 14th. Arroyo was playing in Europe at that time with Barcelona. He missed Centro Basket. Oh, what a pass. Meldica makes it justice. Beautiful move by Nemanja Nedovic.
Same thing. They dealt with the initial screen, and then no one helped the people involved in the screen.
That's a hammer by Ramos. Arroyo inside out, extra pass. Sanchez with an open three. And the foul is the fourth from Meldica. Not his night.
Ramos is just making himself a real handful to deal with. And in you know, normal league play, Relizia would deal with that just by being physically strong and holding space. He just can't be that type of player against Ramos.
Fourth foul in 5 minutes of play for Miroslav. Ramos aims up a long two, and the ball is fought over, and finally in the hands of Bogdanovic. Bertovic. Now they stop play. I think the clock was never reset. As we look at Commissioner Heros Avanesian from the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they reset. They had 5 seconds to the shot clock for Serbia. Smart move. Nice eye by Daniel Guerrezuelo from Spain. Now a quick foul by Guerrezuelo. Foul on David Huertas. Huertas started his career in the University of Florida, highly touted recruit, but ended up playing 1 year and transferred to Ole Miss in the NCAA. And there it is. Extra pass. And it's good, beautiful. And Stefan Percevic has a three. He plays for Partizan. The great rivals of Red Star, Belgrade. In the KBL. A steal and a run-up by Stefan Jovic. He wanted the assist better than the basket. They say that if you score a basket, you make yourself happy. If you get the assist, you make two people happy. And Huertas just lost the dribble. Great move. And here's the beautiful dish. He owes him a beer.
Let's move the ball a little bit more.
Well, Casiano's taken the timeout. And again, it's the same problem. It's the same issue he's had most of the game. He's struggling to move with his help away from the basketball. He's on that, even on the pick and roll where they pulled the foul, the other three guys didn't adjust. So that's an easy adjustment for him to make if they play again. And you don't need Huertas, who's not the best guy in that situation, trying to attack it. Whereas, you know, 2 or 3 times before, they've gone down one side, pulled it back, attacked some space, moved the ball pretty well. They're still missing shots that expect them to make. It's now a 20-point game, and for a minute there, we were talking about it getting back into single digits.
Yeah, Puerto Rico now losing this quarter 9-7. Against really the full strength of this team, although Teodosic is not playing right now.
onda je ovaj gornje oko
But if
koji
you're
brani igrač.
Cassiano, you're going to do a couple of things. On defense, you're realizing that your players react to the first move by the opponent, but are having trouble with the second and third move,
Yeah.
which typically happens against a team that executes so well. But again, that's an issue you're going to have to solve or get better at. And secondly, on offense, you still are having certain rush shots, and a lot of over-dribbling at times. Not all the time, at times.
Well, it's the same. It's movement again. The movement away from the ball is going to have to be a little better against this level of defense. Like here, it's a little bit pass, catch, and stop.
And here comes Ramos down the baseline, and he gets the bucket and the foul, and that is it for Pavlica. What a night for him. A couple of easy touch fouls at the beginning of the game, and then it's just a matter of not having a good night. And Ramos just took him out of the position with a right arm. So Pavlica saying, hey, did you miss that one too? Just a lot of contact. He can only smile at this point. There's nothing he can do.
Absolutely nothing else he can do.
Ends up with making 1 of 3 shots and not even grabbing a rebound. And drawing only 1 foul. As now, Serbia enjoys an 18-point lead. Bogdanovic. Inside, what a pass to go.
Insane. It's going to sound like a record. There's a pick and roll. He goes against it. Everyone moves. The guy as the ball's moving off the screen is just standing still away from the basketball.
Nice pass by Holland. Huertas misses the 3-point shot. Jokic with the rebound. Nice move by Holland, anticipating what Nedovic was going to do. Huertas.
Give the ball up.
Yep, he didn't, and ended up hitting his leg before going out of bounds. It belongs to Serbia. Alex Galindo will come into the game for the first time, the sharpshooter from Mayagüez in the western coast of Puerto Rico.
I mean, to be fair to Jokic, he did a really nice job making it difficult to give the pass up. But if he'd have given it up and Jokic had moved, he could have got it back.
Galindo also one of the top 10 3-point shooters on the island, as was Dani Vasallo, and as was David Huerta. Jokic from the elbow, operating. Inside to him, Holland with the anticipation, another steal. Guillermo Diaz back on the court for Puerto Rico. Holland attacks early, and he gets fouled by Bercevic.
Well, that's how to be definite in transition. The defense is not set, got it and went. Defense had to foul John Holland as he was going to go up.
John will go to the line.
Serbia.
Coach Jordovic is not taking the foot off the accelerator at all. Teodosic comes back.
Just when Puerto Rico essentially is using a number of bench players, taking out Barea and Arroyo seemingly for the night, out comes Milos Teodosic. Wise or foolish in terms of the possibility of injury?
Well, there's always, I mean, that could happen. I understand the question. It's Teodosic wants to play. He sets the tone for how his team plays.
He's played 18 minutes so far. Third largest amount in the team after Kalinic and Bogdanovic. As Galindo throws the ball against a Serbian player, and it belongs to Puerto Rico. Ooh, may have stepped on the line. Let's see.
Probably did before he got rid of it.
So Diaz averaged almost 6 assists per game, a little bit over 2 turnovers per game, as he fulfilled at this late stage of his career his promise as a possible point guard. How about that shot by Sanchez? It shows you the ability, a little flash here and there.
If people think we're giving him a hard time, no, I'm not. There's a frustration here that even if it was just about another little 10% down the defensive end, he could be such a factor for this team. And this team has a number of pieces that are pretty close to being brought together. And you can't underestimate the work that Coach Cassiano has done Forget the technical side, just making this group play together.
Holland again with a strip at his third in the last 4 possessions. And he attacks the basket all the way in, and the foul. He's having his way right now. Bercevic, the guilty party.
And that's the thing, Holland, one of the things that people say he can't do, he's a very good defender. He's very quick. He's very good going to the basket. Well, that's okay. That's what you do then.
Puerto Rico on a run. It's now a 14-point Serbian lead. And Sasha Djordjevic calls a timeout.
See, now Coach Djordjevic has a dilemma. He's up 20 and he brings back Teodosic, and it's like, oh, we're supposed to be okay now. Now he's good. Where does he go now? You know, is it a good, is it a bad thing, you ask? Well, that's the way this is the beauty of this game, isn't it? Someone like Holland can come up with a couple of skills. Sanchez makes a tough shot.
But it's a luxury Djordjevic has
of
having that line of these 12 men, including, I mean, we're not even talking about those who, for whatever reason, are not here. You could almost like the USA national team, you could almost feel the lineup of Serbians not here who would be almost a match, if not better, than this group.
Oh yeah, I would argue that there's maybe 1 or 2 of this group that are like Teodosic is exceptional, but across, there's guys that went to Eurobasket that were very good, that would easily make this team, and this team would still be very, very strong. So that's why it's such a toughness to get on this team.
And you realize with that depth of talent that coaching becomes key and also sets the tone. In other words, you don't like what the coach and the federation want to do? That's okay. We've got 3 guys who want to take your spot, and they'll do as well, maybe better.
Yep.
So line up here now. As Holland completes a 3-point play. Puerto Rico and Peruvian basketball always known for full court pressure. We haven't seen that much from this group yet. Maybe that's one of the weapons being kept in check as Galindo commits the foul. That's one of the tricks that Cassiano has up his sleeve for a possible second game. Remember, 3 members in Group A, only one will get eliminated. The other 2 will advance, and of course they will meet, they will cross over with the top 2 members of Group B, which include Japan, which lost today, Latvia, which beat Japan, and then the Czech Republic, which rested today, as we have Jorge Brian Diaz. I'm sorry, Galindo commit the foul. A couple of quick fouls by Galindo.
See, his first one was fine. He got beat on penetration, so the foul just stopped that. But that foul just, and that really hurts you. You've only got 1 foul. You've only committed 1 foul as a team. You have a 3 to give, then you give 2 straight away, and 1 of them is stopped.
Ooh. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul. Number 4, Milos Teodosic.
By Teodosic. Milos Teodosic commits the foul.
Interesting couple of trips here. If they score and get a stop in the score, this becomes a game on.
Galindo with a wide open 3, rebounded by Diaz. Intercepted by Kalinin. And a foul by Sanchez. I think there was a player ahead of him, it was Galindo.
Yeah, but he grabbed him, it doesn't matter.
It is his 4th.
He's not going to turn like here, he just grabs him. That's an unsportsmanlike in wherever you are, or it should be wherever you are. But again, it's like Diaz works hard to get the offensive rebound and keep it alive. And Sanchez has got to move, he's got to come and get it, he's got to be that aggressive, much more aggressive.
Free throws for Kalinic and possession for Serbia. Back up to a 15-point lead. Ooh, long 3. It's in! With a lot of time left on the clock. That is a decisive decision by Nemanja Nedovic.
Well, literally in 2 phases of play, what could have been a single-digit score is bound back out to 18.
Holland intercepted, up ahead, Nedovic, Diaz, let him dunk.
Could have been 9, it's now 20. I still think there's mileage in this for Puerto Rico to try and close this gap looking forward.
Holland, open 3, It's in. He's feeling it right now.
He's had a great fourth quarter, offensively, defensively, going to the basket. Then he gets his three going.
Become the Puerto Rico's top leader, scoring leader from the bench with 15 points.
15 points, very efficient 15 points too.
Oh, they left Teodosic alone, and they didn't pay the price. Diaz to Holland. Beautiful move by John Holland, waiting for the defenders to come right behind them and using the rim as his friend. 15-point Serbia lead, and Serbia calls a timeout. So the renovated assist man, Guillermo Diaz, with another one for Holland. And look at his concentration, waiting. Now for the bucket.
Oh, this is a typical Coach Djordjevic scenario. His team is up, and like, hey, we're not going to let our level slip. And it's not about anything apart from who do we think we are. We are this team. We're not supposed to give people points on the break. We're not supposed to be that team. And he wants to, mentally wants to make this team play hard the whole way.
28 to 16. Serbian advantage in points off turnovers in this game. That's the difference right now.
Ajmo završimo ovo, odbranom završamo. Izađi mi ovdje u ovaj u dobrom svaki pick and roll, pritisnite loptu, nemoj da vas vrte i oni oko mene rola levo i desno. Ako je odmah
they will get 2, 4, 6 in a row just because they will play the whole way through. But Djordjevic is saying, no, we'll stop doing that. We're just giving up easy things now. And that is not the way he has ever played as a player, and not the way he likes his team to play.
Beautiful pass. We were talking about how on target the passes were.
Yeah, that's everything in stride.
Vladimir Stimac comes back into the game for Serbia.
Well, he sits Teodosic down. He doesn't mind making a point. You were out there as well. You can come out.
Nemanja Dangubic comes in for the first time. A 23-year-old playing for Red Star. He's got the ball right now, guarded by Galindo. Nedovic again. Huge rebound by Holland. He got up there. And he goes all the way. And he gets the foul. He's become a one-man offense for Puerto Rico.
Impressive rebound.
Open court, that's his thing.
You know, I'm surprised he wasn't fouled just to stop the break. There was bodies back. Once he gets to there, he's going to finish.
19 points now overall. 14 in this fourth quarter. Make it 15 now with a free throw.
And he's single-handedly keeping this score manageable. Yeah, he's...
Look at him hound the ball carrier, and there's a foul again on Holland. Nedovic got tackled.
Number 23, John Holland.
He slipped on that that logo, and then he tackled Nedovic. So with Puerto Rico and Serbia having reached the foul limit, we go to the line. This time it's Stefan Markovic.
Well, he's an 80+, 82% free throw shooter. As we said earlier on, he's had a tough year because he got injured. Only 10 games into the European club competition.
Markovic, born in Australia. His father was from Serbia. The mother, born in Australia, of Italian roots. So he also has an Italian passport. Played in Valencia, played in Turkey. Has never won a club championship. As good a player as he is. Sanchez had a shot, gets a little closer, and he makes it.
Shooter comments about frustration again. You know, Ricky Sanchez with that size, he's got soft touch on the release.
Intercepted by Galindo with great anticipation. Over to Diaz. Back to Galindo for the three, but he cannot get the handle.
Well, it's taken 38 minutes to get weak side rotation on those plays, and Galindo did a really good job coming from the weak side.
Diaz with a three. Rebounded by Stimac. Minute 30 to go in the game. 10-point difference. Puerto Rico trying to get back into this game, make it really interesting at the end. They were down 20 at one point. A miss by Dangubic. Galindo, open three. Holland struggles for the rebound, and a foul by Markovic on Holland. Going for that rebound.
John Holland everywhere. Which stat category has he not had a positive? It's just been offensive rebounds, he's had putbacks, he's had opportunities going to the basket, he's got defensive rebounds.
The other thing he's done is play along in the last few minutes with Jorge Brian Diaz, and we haven't mentioned him. He's the one slapping the hand, one of those, number 10 for Puerto Rico. He's quiet, right? He literally is quiet. That's his personality. But he does a very good job of boxing out. He doesn't get the rebound, but he allows Holland space.
Yeah, he was one of the players that came out of the World Cup with some positives. He made some steps forward in that tournament.
Never a first option as Dimas got a little shot in the back from Diaz. At least it made it look that way. Last minute of the game. And now a foul called on Diaz, so Stimac sold that one very well.
Personal foul number 15, Alexander Galindo.
Actually, it's on Galindo, his third. Galindo and his wife, Natalia Melendez, who is a former player, women's basketball player in Puerto Rico, and now an outstanding sports announcer. They're expecting a baby in 2 months, a boy.
So he has an issue if they qualify. She'll be in the very late stages of pregnancy.
That's true. That is true. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, another huge rebound by Holland. Is he going to pass? Not the way he's feeling right now. Not the way he's feeling all the way. And it's an offensive foul. He was not looking, but looking at him was Stefan Markovic. Laid the trap. My bad.
23, John Holland.
Great positioning by Markovic.
And by comparison, you get into a Teodosic type scenario, and a little bit more under control. You just drop that. Drop that ball, and the guy has the easy two.
So, are you saying Milos Teodosic belongs to the never let them see you sweat school? Bounce pass in close quarters, deflected by Galindo, and a foul.
It's that type of pass. Just catch it, drop it, and it's right there.
That combination of passes in the paint, it's like a phone booth pass.
Yep. They make these two, and it's a 7-point game. And in many ways, it's actually a reflection of how close at times this game has been.
Now, you said that Casiano has to walk out of here with some confidence. What is Georgia thinking about a possible rematch down the road?
You know, I think he's going to... There are shots that Puerto Rico have missed that he's going to know they got shots they wanted. That's the first thing.
You can say the same about Serbia in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. But in a way, because statistically, they're going to miss that sort of number of shots. Jordan will back his defense against anybody.
Quick shot, and it's a three by Galindo. Now makes it a 2-possession game. 10 seconds to go. Puerto Rico will not foul.
They'll walk it off.
Yep, they're giving it up. It's going to be an 87-81 Serbian win over Puerto Rico, their first matchup since 2002. Serbia gets their first win in this qualifying tournament. Puerto Rico will face Angola tomorrow early. And they have to win that game to advance to the second round. Angola rests today. 87-81, the final score. 5 players from Serbia scoring double digits. For Puerto Rico, John Holland with 21. Barea, Vasallo, and Ramos with 10 each. As we take a look at the final stats for each team.
Well, I tell you, these stats, you know, like the rebound numbers, but the assist numbers are the different. They're 25 to 11. You know, turnovers, Puerto Rico had those turnovers early, which pretty much set the difference. That stayed the same all the way through. But Puerto Rico walking out of here, I think Puerto Rico walking out of here with, yeah, we play those guys again, we have a shot.
They'll have to beat Angola. Then they'll have to beat whoever teams come out of Group B, being the Czech Republic, Latvia, or Japan, which lost today. And then if they win that game, likely you will see Serbia again here to close matters on Saturday with one ticket to Rio on the line.
No, but that's a very, very good performance. The other great thing for Puerto Rico is they haven't had to overplay anybody. Arroyo played a lot of minutes early on, but they sat a lot. They got positive out of Holland, the positive out of Ramos. You know, there's still some frustrations. They make a couple of adjustments, they're right in it. This Serbian team is quality, and Teodosic all night looked absolutely at the top floor, a different level.
Perhaps Serbia paid Puerto Rico its greatest compliment by having them late tonight, having their opponent tomorrow rest, and then making them play the first game tomorrow against Angola with the hope that maybe Angola can pull an upset. Angola's always played Puerto Rico tight, but never beaten the Puerto Rican national team in 4 tries.
Oh, and it's a very inexperienced Angolan team, so if Puerto Rico have this much togetherness, they have enough quality that I would back them to win tomorrow, because they can beat them. In the past, they've beaten themselves. I don't think this team's going to beat itself, and it showed, as we said, competition, so Centro basket experience has been great for this Puerto Rican team.
Casiano said in Panama, de menos a más. We go from our worst game to our best, and that's what we expect to do right here in Belgrade. If this was their worst game, that's pretty good.
Yep.
And so it remains to be seen if they can win teams of the quality of the Czech Republic and Latvia if they happen to advance on the other side of Group B. But it's an encouraging start for this team for Puerto Rico. And for Serbia, it's a team that really wasn't necessarily pushed, maybe a little bit in the first half when they had to adjust refereeing, but stayed in control. And again, Milos Teodosic, when he came into this court, he just set the tone. He just dictated what was going to happen in this game.
If they just keep him if they can get him in a half court and make them shoot from the perimeter, then I think it's going to be a different type of game. If you let them back cut and pass, they're going to score and they're going to get high percentages and they're going to assist like they've done tonight. Puerto Rico won't win that game. If they make them shoot the ball over them, they have a real chance.
Puerto Rico will face Angola at 6 o'clock Belgrade time tomorrow in Group A, and Latvia will play the Czech Republic at 9 o'clock right here at the Belgrade Arena, with Japan and Serbia resting tomorrow. So it's going to be another exciting day of matches. For Mark Clark, this is Alvaro Martin. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.